Hello and welcome. So excited to have you here. I'm really looking forward to today's session. We're going to be talking through our model on how to double or even triple your sales by getting your internet marketing right. This is a model that over 250 agency owners have built over 15 years. I do want to make this as practical and actionable as possible. So we've got a workbook that'll help you dive into this. This is live and interactive. So I do want you to chat with me and interact with me as we go so we can make this interactive as possible. So let me share my screen and we're going to get right into it. So here's what we're going to be covering today on today's session. So we've got a workbook that'll help you dive into this. I want to make this as interactive as possible. So let's get right into it. Here's what we're going to cover on today's session. I'm going to talk about our accelerated growth model for increasing your sales and getting your shop's internet marketing right. I will be providing you with very specific things that you can do in a very specific order to achieve that outcome. We'll talk about the most important online marketing channels that you should be tapping into to grow your auto repair shop business. And there's lots, right? From SEO, PPC, there's LSA, there's social media, email marketing, there's retargeting, there's mailers and everything in between. So we'll talk about the key channels that you want to plug into, how to map your website to make sure it's a conversion machine that can convert visitors into leads and leads into sales into repeat customers. We'll talk about some of the key strategies for generating better organic ranking so you're coming up in the non-paid listings for those most important keywords. We're also going to cover how to win with LSA ads, local service ads, which is a big play nationwide. We want to make sure that you're getting Google verified and that you're playing that game to win. And then how to make sure that we're converting your leads into sales at the highest level possible. So we'll share some very specific strategies to double or even triple your conversion rate from a lead into a booked job. So that's what we're going to be covering. If that feels like it's a good use of your time today, just give me a quick 1 in the chat. Just click number 1. And then this way I'll know that we're plugging in. So real quick, who am I? My name is Paul Donahue. I'm the CEO at Advanced Digital Automotive Group, and our company is a Google certified partner. I am the author of 2 books, The Ultimate SEO Guide for Automotive Service Businesses, How to Triple Your Sales in Record Time, and Triple Your Sales and Grow Your Business, The Ultimate Internet Guide for Growing Your Business Online. That was the first book I wrote 5 years ago. So let me spend a couple of minutes on why this topic is even important. Well, first of all, your marketing will make or break your business. Right now, I don't have to tell you that you can have the best technicians in the world. You can have the best equipment in the world. You can have the best CSRs. But the reality is, if your phone's not ringing, if you're not the known, go-to auto repair shop in your market, none of it matters. So your marketing will make or break your business. The other reason I think it's important is that a lot of you guys have made major investments in your marketing, right? Over the years, historically, you've spent tens of thousands of dollars in Yellow Pages. You guys all spent thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in SEO, pay-per-click, social media, and other various methods. And unfortunately, a lot of times you wind up not having the return on investment that you were looking for. Or you're spending money and you're getting some growth, but it's just not where you need it to be to accomplish your goals. So I think it's really important to dial in the strategy and make sure that you've got a tangible, measurable return on where your money's going. We all know how hard it is to find good technicians, to get those technicians trained. And if you wind up with open bays and technicians that aren't busy, you have the possibility of them jumping ship to a competitor. I do have a workbook that we're going to track along with, and if you don't have a link already, you can access it by going to autorepairseo.com/workbook. I'm going to drop that in the chat really quick. I do have a workbook that we're going to track along with, and so if you don't have the link already, you can access it by going to this link here on the screen. You just go to the website and look for the video resources, and then look for this particular workshop under the video resources, webinars, and workshop tabs. I'll drop it in the chat just so you've got it. So, but anyway, we know in today's market, 97% of customers, they use the internet. in some form or fashion before inquiring about your services. They're going to Google. They might be going to Bing. Most are Google, but most shop owners, they want to know, how can I own the market in my area? How can I make sure that I'm the one that's coming up? I'm getting those leads. I'm closing those calls. Some shop owners are like, I'd like to get those calls like I used to when I was in the number one place that they looked was the Yellow Pages. Anybody here remember the Yellow Page days? Many shop owners have tried different things over the years. Regardless of where you are in your business right now, there are three things that we have to solve in order to accelerate our growth and increase our sales. Number one is we have to have a system to get the phone ringing. We can't just rely on luck. We got to get web submissions and online bookings flowing or flowing faster. So that's the first thing. Number two is we have to maximize conversion rate. We have to make sure that we've got a strategy to convert those leads or those visitors from those leads into sales. Ultimately, we want a strategy to convert that one-time customer into a repeat buyer that refers us to others, right? This becomes a positive loop effect. We need to convert our leads, and then we need to make sure we convert them into repeat buyers. And then number three is we have to optimize the results. We have to figure out what it is that's actually working in terms of our marketing and then double down on what's working. Like if we're doing great with PPC, Google ads, let's put more money into that. But most are switching from PPC to LSA. In fact, we don't even want to do PPC for our customers anymore. It's just LSA. And so we're going to go into each one of these throughout this session. And ideally, walk away with a really clear action plan on where you need to shift your focus and where you need to be doing better in terms of your online marketing. Let's start with the most important, the organic. I really believe this will be some of your highest quality, lowest cost traffic. It's going to come from either organic when someone goes to Google and searches for auto repair and those type of keyword terms in your geographic area. You are the one that gets that lead. Think about it. The top source of new revenues is often referrals. Well, if I don't have a referral to your shop, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to Google, do a search. What am I going to click on? Shop that comes up first, or at least ones that are in the top that have good reviews that I subconsciously choose. Get into that later. I've got a full hour-long session where I can walk you through exactly what you need to get to your website to get those outcomes. Most of it, like I said, is subconscious. So the research is incredible on how to get a website to convert better. It's amazing the difference that you just by applying those things. Anyway, I've got a workshop on it. Go to the website, autorepairseo.com, and go to the video resources section, then go to the webinars. You'll see that workshop. Because obviously I can't cover today. I can't hit on everything that's in that one. So I'm just going to do the 80-20 principle. There are certain things that we need to do on page, which is the website itself in terms of the pages and the content. There's certain things that we need to do off page in terms of building links and citations and authority. And then there's certain things that we need to do in terms of how we're updating the content on the website and the blog content that we push out to pass signals to Google that will move us up in the organic rankings for most of our important keywords. And then there are specific things that we want to do on Google Maps. Let me know if you'd like the link to that workshop I did on how to rank Google Maps. That was 2 months ago. I go over the absolute latest research on how to get ranked better in the Google Map Pack. You may be ranked in Google Maps for one or two keywords, but the more keywords that you rank in that Google Map Pack, the more your phone rings. So, hey, Jerome, drop that link in the chat, would you please, for everybody? The Google Maps one, thanks. So you want to see that the lion's share of your calls are coming from organic and Google Maps. If they weren't coming in the map listings and you're not coming up organically, you're missing out on the lion's share of the opportunity in your market. I'm a big believer in paid search as well. We all want to tap into local service ads. They are now available nationwide. They rolled them out in March nationwide after 18 months of testing in Florida and California. I did a workshop on LSA ads in April. So anyway, just go to the website. All those workshops are in there. We want to have remarketing in place. I can't believe the amount of shops that don't have remarketing in place. It's really important. We can't sleep on the organic side of the equation either, because we know that people are clicking those listings. We know people are calling from those listings. So we definitely should be doing some type of paid search. 6% of people click on paid ads, sometimes more. And you want that 6% if and only if it provides a great return on your investment. Usually when we see paid search, people go straight to the Google ads. And I'm a big believer that Google ads should be a part of your strategy, but it shouldn't be the only one. So we've got a lot of owners that we've worked with, and they're just like, step on the gas pedal on the paid ads. That's not always the best strategy. You're just giving money to Google constantly. You really want to focus on getting the organic, balancing that budget out so you can get the organic. This visual paints the picture of what I think you should be doing from a paid ads perspective. Yes, organic should be the foundation always. But you have a good website, all the right pages that are properly optimized, that's coming up in non-paid listings. From there, you want Google ads and you want local service ads specifically. I think that you should be doing both. Get Google verified, get the background check done. It'll be your lowest cost per lead from a paid perspective. And like I said, it's now available nationwide. Don't sleep on local service ads. Most shop owners don't even know about it yet because their digital marketing agency are asleep at the wheel. From there, you need to be doing some type of retargeting and have automations in place. Retargeting is just tagging people when they get to your website. We know they're in the market, but we know that not everyone is an immediate buyer, right? So they might get to your website and still be in the evaluation period. And we find that something like 60% of the visitors to your site are still in an evaluation period. And so if we don't have retargeting in place where we can follow that person across the internet and continue to advertise in front of them, we're leaving opportunity on the table. So we want to make sure that we're doing retargeting on Facebook and Google ads, which basically hits all of the sites somebody might be on. So they're on ESPN or they're on a constant negative news network, CNN, or they're hanging out in Gmail. They'll start to see your ads and they're like, man, this repair shop seems to be very proactive. They'll see you everywhere, which is important. This way, you're not marketing to the entire market. You're just marketing to the customers that have already been to your website in the last 30, 60, or 90 days. You want to catch those non-immediate buyers. And by doing this, you increase your effectiveness of all your other marketing strategies. The other thing that you have to have in place is automations. I'll talk about this more as we go, but speed to lead is one of the most critical factors for conversion from a visitor to a book job. And if you're not leveraging automation to follow up with missed calls, to follow up with somebody that called in but wasn't ready to book right then, to follow up with people that submit a form on your site, your conversion rates aren't going to be where they need to be, and you won't get the return on investment from your digital marketing that you should. So I hope this visual makes sense, that we're going to have a good organic footprint. Then we're going to have a good organic footprint. We're going to run paid search and local service ads. We're going to run paid search and local service ads, but we're also going to be running retargeting and automations to make sure that we can get an increase on the conversion rate that actually turns more of the visitors into your website into book jobs and revenue for your company. So until you're maxing out your organic footprint, it doesn't make a lot of financial sense to invest in brand advertising online. So, that's the big advertising on Facebook in your local market with a special offer, advertising on PC and LSA. I find, though, that when you get to that, 10 million plus threshold, there is something to be said for running brand advertising to continue to become the known provider in your market, which can be quite effective if you've got a large enough budget to play that game. So I think for most of us, though, focusing on organic, Google Ads, local service ads with retargeting and having automation in place, it's enough to win today and push us to that multi-million-dollar level. When I talk with a lot of repair shops about paid ads, they say, I tried Google Ads and it didn't work, or I didn't have a good return on investment, or I wasn't sure. Worse, I'm not sure what my return on investment was. I was just buying ads. That's the worst situation to be in, by the way. Most of the time, it's because they were DIYing it. Just like me trying to fix my own transmission. It's because the way the campaign was set up and structured. It was basically like one ad group for all the keywords that were driving traffic to the main page of the site. That's the number one recipe for disaster. When you do it that way, you're not tapping into Google's quality score or algorithm, and you wind up paying more per click, which means that you're paying more per lead if you get any at all. It's a recipe for failure with Google Ads. I can tell you when we do this right, one ad to one landing page with a very specific call to action, you will get a great return on investment from your paid ads. You should get 5 to 9 times return on investment by setting up the campaigns correctly. A 20% ROI is the ceiling and target. That's really what you want to go for. That's what we shoot for with every campaign that we do. Moving forward, make sure you're coming up in your organic listings. Then we get paid search, local service ads, and or PPC. And then we nail the retargeting. Next is database marketing. A big opportunity for most of us is database marketing. And I don't think most auto repair shops are really tapping into this. You've got customers, you've got past customers, you've got past inquiries. And if you're not actively communicating with them via email and SMS and providing offers on a consistent basis, consistency being the key, to get them back in your shop, you're leaving money on the table. If you're not reaching out to them and asking for referrals, you're leaving money on the table. And so lots of ways to do this, but marketing automation is the hottest ticket in digital marketing today. You're running a shop. We have computer programs that will do this for you. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. What I found works best is communicating via SMS. If you're only sending out email, it could be going to spam or it's just white noise. And they don't respond to it. Email has a horrible response rate. Think 3% or 10%. But we find in today's market, which is backed by extremely solid research, that if you send a text message that's short and expecting a response, you can get a really high conversion rate. So just as an example, hi, this is Alice with Bob's Auto Repair. We want to be sure you're ready for winter. If you book in for a tire change before October the 31st, we'll give you X amount off or a free brake inspection, whatever. The offer is limited to the first 20 customers that book, and it's first come, first serve. Click the link below or simply give us a call. Or you can reply yes, and we'll send you a coupon. There's a lot of options. The beauty of this type of message is it's really simple, and you can find somebody that wasn't actively looking, but has a problem that they will be looking to solve soon, and you know it. And so, and all they have to do is show some type of positive intent, and then we can trigger automations to follow up and retargeting if they don't book. So you don't always have to spend money on ads. There's cash in your database. Are you leveraging this opportunity correctly? You want to make sure that some type of offer is being made to your database on an ongoing basis because there's a big opportunity there. So when it comes to driving leads, I've got this little traffic light system. Just rate yourself on organic. Are you green? Are you coming up for all the different types of keywords in your service area? Or is your organic like yellow or red? Are you running paid search? Maybe you're not doing paid search, or your average cost per lead is way too high, or your return on investment, it's just not where it needs to be. So kind of rate yourself on that. Are we red, yellow, or green? Database marketing. How are we doing with database marketing? If we're not marketing back to that existing customer base, this is low-hanging fruit. Big opportunity that you probably want to mark with a big red, yellow, or green. So any questions on these strategies that I've been talking about so far for driving leads? Anybody? For those of you that are on, feel free to put it in the chat if you've got any questions that you want me to answer. If not, I'm just going to keep pressing on forward. Okay, I got a couple questions here. I'll get back to those questions at the end of the session. We'll chat real quick. Okay, so the next thing that we have to do is we got to think about how we're going to maximize conversion. Again, we want to convert our visitors into leads, and we want to convert those leads into booked jobs. We want to convert those booked jobs, those first-time customers, into repeat customers that say positive things about us and refer us to others. So to maximize conversion, there's 3 elements that we need to look at. Number 1 is our website. We want to make sure that our website is built to convert a visitor to a caller. And we want to track that conversion rate, what that conversion ratio is. So I produced an entire workshop on this important topic. There are very specific things that you can do on your website to maximize your conversion. I put some of this in your workbook. First, make sure that you're speaking to the avatar, that you've got real pictures and real videos on the website, and use multimedia. Be sure that you're leveraging social proof to showcase your reviews and testimonials. And then you've got your phone number in the upper right-hand corner, large, bold fonts on every single page of the website with calls to action that are varied. So you want at least a dozen different types of calls to action on your website. Is it your website mobile friendly? And does it load in less than 3 seconds on mobile phones? If you don't know how fast your website is loading on mobile, go to GTmetrix. That's METRIX.com and check. Okay, next you've got online booking, and then you've got SMS text messaging on your website. Those make a huge difference on how well your website is going to convert callers into visitors. If you don't have online booking on your website, you're losing sales. This is one of the fastest ways to increase your revenues. So many people want to book directly online. There are programs like AutoOps that integrate with most of the large shop management software programs. And it also gives you a Book Now link in your Google Business Profile. So make it easy for people to schedule, and the ability to engage with with people via two-way text message or a chat on your website directly. Those 2 things alone will make a big difference. I could go deep on other elements on the website, but those are the main things. And like I said, I did a whole workshop on this, how to get your website to convert at a maximum level. It's on my website, autorepairseo.com. And then obviously making sure that it's easy to convert on mobile. So make sure your website's easy to access on a mobile phone. Be sure that you've got video wherever possible. We live in a video world. Doesn't have to be super fancy. Shoot it from your cell phone. Get some video to engage with the people that get to your website. Showcase your online reviews and testimonials. We post all of our clients' positive reviews on all their social media channels, plus Google Business Profile. If you're at a place where you can do online booking, definitely do it. Your customer today would much prefer to just text you or book online and get it done rather than have a call and have a conversation. Today's consumer is preferring online. Next is web forms. Just be sure to get back to them within 3 minutes or less. And you need to have automations in place that tell them what to do next after they fill out a form. Have the two-way text messaging options. So that's the website. Very specific things that you can do on your website to improve your conversion rate. All right, you want to shoot for a 20, 25, or even 30% plus conversion from visitor to caller or book job. The other big thing that'll impact your conversion rate is your reviews and your reputation, right? If you don't have lots of positive reviews from your customers in your service area, the customer is going to go to someplace else. Even if they like you, even if they were referred to you, usually what they're going to do is they're going to go to Google and they're going to do a search for your company reviews. If you don't do anything out of this workshop, except for what I'm about to discuss, I absolutely positively guarantee that you will see an immediate increase in your revenues. I really think the future for those auto repair shops is leveraging lead flow follow-up automation software. These are the shops that'll stay ahead of the pack. I think this is one of the biggest challenges facing automotive service companies. It's not about generating more leads. Many shops have an abundance of leads in their market, and there's plenty of ways to generate leads and to get the phone ringing. I think that most auto repair shops aren't converting those leads at a high enough level, and the main reason is what I call speed to lead. Research shows that you have a 95% chance on getting the book job if you're the first shop to talk to the customer about their particular problem. Rocket science, right? A big red flag is not enough reviews. Ideally, we want 4-star plus reviews, and then it's like, okay, this is a solid company I can feel confident about doing business with. And so my best suggestion for getting more reviews, obviously, create great customer experience. Bringing your team in on reviews is important. Train your team to how to ask for reviews. Train your team in meetings. Call out the technicians that got great reviews and reward them publicly. Leverage automation so that at the end of every service call, a review request goes out via email and text message, or just text message if the only thing you have is their mobile phone number. Text message is the big one again. Your emails, regardless of how good your email system is, people don't want to see emails and they don't check them as much. They're not going to click on the link to write a review. But if you follow up via text message right after the service call, that gets clicked and gets reviews more than anything else. And now there's automations that'll do that for you and a whole lot more. I mentioned I would be talking earlier about automations. How many of you agree? There's a little bit of dissonance between the amount of leads that you generate and the amount of the leads that you actually convert into booked jobs. And the reason is from 50 to 60% of inbound leads go unconverted. It's like they called in and they didn't get the answer they were looking for, or they called in and they just weren't ready to book right then and there. And then research proves that 90% of web forms don't convert. They fill out the form and then it's like that's where leads go to die because we don't get to them fast enough. When you have automations in place, you automatically get notified the moment someone fills out a form. So imagine the impact that you can have on your revenues over the course of time. Leads that aren't followed up within 15 minutes or less go cold. And if you're not calling them in 5 to 15 minutes, they've pretty much gone to somebody else. That's what some of the research says, but I follow the research that proves that you're 21 times more likely to get the book job if you follow up within 5 minutes of them contacting you. Not 2 or 3 times, 21 times. Also, the average customer needs to be followed up 5 to 7 times before they'll book. Once again, that's where automations come in play. There's no way to chase down all these opportunities manually. It's impossible. That's what software's for. But we know that if we didn't book, we could convert the lion's share of them if we followed up with them. If we followed through. And the other reason is today's customers really prefer to interact via text message by default. So you want to be sure that you're leveraging the two-way text messaging. Now, the other answer to this problem is to leverage lead follow-up automation software. What's beautiful is you have this technology now where those unconverted leads can get followed up within 2 minutes or less. They can get a call, they can get an email, and a text message. And you can put automated follow-ups in place for those that didn't convert right away. Be sure that they are going to get touched at least 5 times. And if you don't do anything else from today's session, please implement this. Online reviews, like I said, play a significant role in your shop's ability to get sales, especially from first-time customers. They play a big part in that outcome. Those reviews also play a big part in your organic Google rankings. They not only impact the results in terms of how well you rank, but they also impact how well somebody's going to choose to do business with you. The big opportunity for most of us on today's call is automation, making sure that we're leveraging automation to follow up with our leads that come in, and we're leveraging automation to request reviews. Lead automation follow-up software is the fastest way to get your conversion rate up to that 25 to 30 percentile range. An even bigger problem that we see is web forms that people go on and they fill out that form on the site. Hey, I'd like to request a quote. But the other reason we're seeing such poor conversion rates is today's customers would prefer to interact, like I said, to the text messaging rather than a phone call. In the past, we just wanted the phone call, right? That was where it was at. We want that phone call to come in. But your customer today, if they've got the option to text with you or to book direct online, they'll choose either one of those. And if you're not leveraging the text messaging, you're missing out on a lot of the opportunity. Leverage automation so that any web form on your site, whether it's the contact us form or the two-way text message chat, we make sure that within 3 minutes or less, they get a phone call, they get an email, or they get a text message automatically. You make sure that the prospect gets touched a number of times via two-way text message if they haven't converted right away. This is what it looks like on a chart. Somebody gets to the website, they fill out a form, or they make a call, and then they start a chat, and then they're going to keep getting touched until they schedule. And then once they schedule, your scheduling platform will take it from there. They don't schedule, they get added to this loop. And it's not an annoying loop. It's just like kind of, hey, did you get that solved? hey, we see that you called a couple weeks ago, just checking in to see if you still have any issues. Once they say I'm done with that, or no, I've already taken care of it, then we can take them out of the sequence. Once it's booked inside your system, we can also take them out of the sequence also. But having that automation in place means more and more of the leads that you're already generating can actually convert into booked jobs. And kind of a second layer to that is, once they do become a customer, we can drop them into another automation that touches base with them over time to find ways to get them back into the shop when they need repairs. This automation process can have a huge ripple effect of the effectiveness of all of your other marketing that you do. One question we have to solve for is total spending. Are we spending enough on SEO, on Google Ads, and LSA to get the outcomes that we're after? Like if you're at $500,000 and you want to go to $1 million, you probably need to spend a little bit more as the company grows as a percentage of revenue. And so I've got a great tracking sheet that we put together. I can share with anybody who wants it. It's part of our workshop that we do every January. This year it was with the ASA. Your 2025 Internet Marketing Plan Workshop. We did it on January 15th. You want to plot out what the goals for the year are, and then based on that, what percentage of your revenue will you need to invest back in the marketing. And it gives you a great sense of how much you need to invest monthly to meet your goals. What we find is a lot of companies want to spend a flat $1,000 to $2,000 per month, and we know to really grow, you need to be spending more like 5 to 8% into your marketing to get good growth. To get accelerated growth, we need 5 to 10% or more. So it's really important to make sure that we've looked at what your goals are and that they're realistic to that percentage that you're investing. And this spreadsheet is great to help you do that. So Jerome, drop that in the chat if you would. If you're spending $1 million and you want to get to 1.25 million, you put 250,000 in growth. And if ARO is 450, it'll tell you exactly how many new book jobs that you'll need to get to reach that goal. And then you look at how much is each lead costing you and what the conversion rate of your website is, and then you can figure out exactly how much you need per month, how much you need to be investing per month to reach that $250,000 in growth. Like I said, I did an entire workshop in January that really focuses around this worksheet that are CPA created, where you can just plug in your numbers, and it gives you the numbers that you need to know that you need to apply to reach your targets. So you must be able to track all of the leads that come in from your organic paid search, Google Maps, web forms, etc. So you can see what you've invested. Here's what your total lead volume is. And then based on that, this is your average cost per lead on any window of time this month, this quarter, this year. We need to know return on investment. Like, who cares if you're getting $10 leads or $100 leads if those leads aren't converting to revenue? And if the revenue doesn't justify the expense, it just really isn't a good move. And so if you want to be able to say, I spent $1,000 and I generated $10,000 in revenue, you want to be able to say, here's what we spent, here's how much revenue was generated, and here's how much was invested in ads, and how much actually came back into the cash register. I think that's the gold standard. If you want to be competitive in 2025 and beyond, you need to know your ROI from each lead source that you invest in. Hopefully, this has been helpful. I gave you a workbook that you can track along and kind of look at this to see what you might be missing. Where's the opportunity in your shop? So when you're doing the right things to maximize conversion, there should be no reason that you can't have perpetual growth within the business. And so again, I think the workbook is there for you to kind of walk you through this entire process. This is the Accelerated Growth Digital Dominance Method. I'd love for you to get clear. If you think about the key things that you need to focus on, 3 is always a good number to work with. Research shows trying to focus on more than 3 things doesn't work well. What would be the 3 action items that you can take away that you can implement from this workshop? So if you need help, that's what we're here for, right? I mean, if you need help, you can schedule a time by going to autorepairseo.com/schedule. On that schedule page, you can just pick a time or give us a call at our toll-free number. So we'll do some due diligence, coming into the call. We'll look at your website, we'll look at your SEO, look at your paid ads, and have a quick conversation around what needs to change in order to get the results that you want, and whether or not we may be a good fit for your shop. So if that's you, go ahead and schedule a time, and you can stay informed via the group. Also, as a bonus, if you join today, we'll give you free access to my 100 quick tips for auto repair shop owners. Each tip is a minute or less, and it provides an actionable step that you can take to improve your shop's digital presence. Excellent, guys. Thanks for your attention. Thanks for sticking with me through this. Again, the goal was to provide you with some actionable steps that you could take right away, or can take right away, to help improve your shop's digital presence and convert more of the leads that you're currently getting into book jobs without investing a lot more in ad dollars. So any questions before we wrap up today? I know you guys are busy, but if you have anything specific, I'd be glad to answer. I can reach out individually. I got a couple questions, but I'm not seeing any really important ones. I can reach out individually on these couple of questions that we got. So thank you for your undivided attention. If you need to reach me, it's paul@autorepairseo.com. Feel free to connect with me anytime. Let's all double or triple our sales over the next 12 to 24 months. So thanks, everybody. Talk to you real soon.